All right, everybody, welcome to NorCal Sports Network. And this is the same hat that Brock Purdy's dad wears. Chat loves it when Marty Lurie comes on.
Anytime you lose a game this time of year, when you can't go backwards, it's a problem.
All right, everybody. Welcome on in, NorCal Sports Network. Baseball season is over, but the 25 season has just begun with some activity already going on today. Jorge Soler gets traded from the Atlanta Braves to the Los Angeles Angels, and the Giants have named a GM, which will be announced officially tomorrow. But we will have a show on that tomorrow, guys. Just want to let that be known right off the top. I'll be repeating that a few times. But tomorrow at 9 o'clock, I will have a guest on to talk about the Giants' new hiring of Zach Manassian, the brother of Perry Manassian, the general manager of the Angels. So Zach Manassian will be announced tomorrow as the new general manager of the San Francisco Giants, and I'll have Dieter Kurtenbach tomorrow night at 9 o'clock, right after he finishes his stint with KNBR. He'll be on in KNBR from 7 to 9, and we'll get him on at 9 tomorrow night. As you know, Dieter's been on here before, and he writes for the Mercury, and we'll get his take on it. And it should be an interesting show. But tonight, we're going to talk about Juan Soto and where will Soto go? Yes. Let me pull up something real quick here. I want to pull up the hold on here. Okay. Yeah, just get this is the thumbnail right here, as you guys can see. Where will Soto land? Will he stay with the Yankees, go to the Mets, the Dodgers, the Giants, back to the Padres? I'm not so sure where he's going to go, but I listened to Juan Soto today from his talk last night. Boy, you got to love the New York press. They do not hold back when they ask questions. And they asked a lot of questions of Soto. And Soto is going to not give the Yankees the inside track. He's going to milk this for whatever he can. And I've got some predictions I'll be making here at the top of the hour at 10 o'clock, where I think Soto may go and what I think the contract will look like. So Corpo says Yankees. Let's see if we've got any other predictions. By the way, guys, may have Ryan join us around 10 or 9 tonight. But did I say 10? I'll be announcing at 9 o'clock. I'll be talking to you what I think the contract's going to be, where I think Soto's going to possibly end up. Again, I have no insight, but Kitchen Handy says he won't go to the Dodgers. We'll see. He says Zach Manassian, a great hire. Again, we'll probably get into it a little bit tonight. We'll talk a little bit about that. Dan, what's your costume? I guess I'm just I don't know. I passed out a lot of candy tonight, though. I got a lot of kids in my neighborhood. Oops, I just spilt my water here. Hold on. But, yeah. Ban Bamboo. Horrible rumors about Giants GM choice. There couldn't be a worse candidate. Farhan's underling. You know, I am going to read up more before I make my, total assessment of him. I know he worked with the Brewers, was in on some trades. He's the director of pro scouting. So pro scouting meaning he's the guy that probably helped find your guys like Yaz and Lamont Wade and these under the radar guys. So I'm not really sure if this is going to be much different under Manassian than it was Farhan, because we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully he's good at making some actual trades. Yeah. Ben says he's done nothing and is trained under Farhan. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what kind of candidates he had. You know, I talked to Marty Lurie today about it, and Marty and I will be doing some shows together in the next few weeks. But Marty, he likes Manassian he's a super guy, really nice guy, and but also feels he's not a whole lot different really than Buster, and you know, not going to be the guy probably to make those big type of trades that the Giants may need to do. And talk to Marty. Now we get into this Juan Soto thing. He does not think, Marty doesn't believe the Giants are going to have a shot at Soto. Not even sure if they'll go after Soto. So for all the people that are getting excited about Soto becoming a Giant, who knows? It could happen. It could happen, but I really think Soto is going to shop. And I think he's going to sign at the baseball winter meetings. I think the drama will be there. They will be waiting for Soto to sign. It'll be like the Aaron Judge deal a couple years ago. And, you know, those winter meetings this year are in the Dallas area. They're December 8th through the 12th. So I think we're looking at a little over a month. I think the courting starts, the negotiations, they all can start now, today. Nobody can sign officially till Monday. Trades can be made, but no signings of free agents until Monday. I would be shocked if Soto actually signed real early, but I think Mark R says Juan Soto, future daughter. Hey, Dodger. You might be right, Mark. Hey, Chardal, how you doing? Happy Halloween. We got the orange background here, guys. It's really the Giants background. If I show you, I remove myself from the orange and black, Halloween, right? So George says the Giants organization is a joke if they do not pursue Curry or Soto. Absolutely. They absolutely. Yeah. Soler on 3 teams in 4 months. Exactly, Mark. I put a tweet out there today. I think he ends up getting traded again at the trade deadline. Soler's not the type of guy that's going to carry the Angels anywhere. He's probably a piece they can sell off and get something better for him. Yeah, wasn't that a great catch tonight? Unbelievable. One-handed catch, gets the 1 foot down, falls to the ground, that same foot looks like the shin barely touched the grass or the turf before his knee went out of bounds. Unbelievable one-handed catch. Shades of Odell Beckham Jr. And some people are saying, who's Odell Beckham Jr.? Let's see, guys. Devon, LA. Okay. I said I'll break it again at 9. But I'll say it again now, guys. Here's the contract numbers that I think Juan Soto is going to land. Scott Boras is his agent. Boras, huge ego. Who got the biggest contract in baseball history for terms of dollars per year per over the contract? It was Shohei Ohtani last year, $700 million. Here's what's going to happen, in my opinion. I think Boras gets that bidding going, and he is going to get slightly over $700 million. You're going to think I'm crazy. He's going to get slightly over $700 million a year to top Ohtani. Maybe it's about $710 million. And I think it's going to be a 14-year deal. Remember, Xander Bogaerts and guys in that class signed long-term contracts, 12 years to get him to age 40. Soto, supposedly, age 25, 26 years old. Let me see what Juan Soto's actual date of birth is on here. When he turns 26. Okay. Juan Soto. Let's take a look here. Juan Soto, born. Where's your birthday, Juan? Oh, October 25th, 1998. So he's going to be 26. Oh, he just turned 26 6 days ago. Okay. So he just turned 26. So he'll be he's 26 all of next season. So a 14-year deal takes him to age 40. He can probably give somebody 9 to 10 solid years till age 35, 36. And the last 4 years of the contract, he just becomes a DH. And I think he's going to get 710, 14 years. That's just over $50 million a year. And I think he's going to take about $35 million a year for the 14 years, maybe 35 and change to get him to $500 million. And the rest of the money, another $210,000 will be deferred over 210 divided by 20 years. Be deferred for about 20 years. Take him to age 60, and he'll get like $10 million, $10.5 million a year for 20 years. But he'll have the highest paid contract in the history of baseball. Think about this. Think about this, guys. Would not shock me one bit if he goes to the Dodgers. There's no salary cap. Why wouldn't you, if you're the Dodgers, sign him? Max Muncy is going to be on his last year. Freddie Freeman is getting older. He probably has 2 good years left. He is 26 years old. When is the next superstar available in free agency at age 26? Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Soto didn't sign for a reason. Remember, he was offered something like $450 or something from Washington before they traded him to San Diego. He's not just going to settle for $500 million. He wants that big money. And if he gets only $50 million a year, then it's going to be over $600 million. I'm telling you, this contract's going over $600 million. You're going to get into a bidding war between Steve Cohen, Hal Steinbrenner, and Kitchen. That's what I said to Ned Coletti, that a cap may happen. Guys, I want you to know that we broke this on NorCal Sports last Friday night, okay, before John Heyman came out with the story. Okay, let me see what's going on here. Okay, let me play for you a little clip that was on our show last Friday night, and here it is, right here. I got a question for you that I think a lot of fans, especially Giants fans, I don't think the Giants have a shot at Soto, but if the Yankees go on to lose this and let's say Judge just doesn't perform at all in this World Series, does that have an effect on his free agency? You've been around teams and when free agents, if there's a bad ending to this series for the Yankees, does that affect the Yankees or Soto maybe saying, hey, look, I want to move on?
I don't think so. I think it's going to be the numbers he hears.
And it's going to be one of the New York teams.
Money? I can't believe it's going to be the money.
Yeah. Believe it or not, it might be the money. I mean, it's going to be a good team, too, though.
Yeah,
it's probably going to be the Mets or the Yankees. It's going to be.
He's going to look at the Yankees, and listen, the Yankees they're really good, and they're going to be. They're always going to be good, competitive, or they're going to try. Yeah, I think I don't know. I think he probably enjoys playing there. You know what? I shouldn't say it because I don't know that, but he's going to go where he can look at it. I think he knows what it's like in New York. So if he likes it there, he's going to get a big offer from the Yankees, I would think. I don't see him coming to the Giants. I
don't either.
We can go through this every year. And I don't even know if it's right to sign a guy for 15 years, $600 million. I don't know that that's the right thing to do. I don't know. It sounds good, but
how are you going to feel if he signs with the Dodgers?
What's that?
Oh no! Don't even say it. Ned, I will say this.
Don't count Mark Walter out.
Behind every good playoff team, there's some.
Don't count Mark Walter out, Ned Coletti said. Believe that? Don't count Mark Walter out. I later said a minute or so after that comment, that was just a little clip we cut. I said, if that happens, the Dodgers are going to cause a cap to come to baseball. But you know what? The Dodgers might just not care. Maybe they just want to have Ohtani. Maybe the Dodgers just want to dominate for the next 5 years. I mean, literally dominate the sport and do what the old Yankees did when they won World Series after World Series after World Series. Yeah, if they sign Soto, what will tickets cost go to a Dodgers game? It doesn't matter. They'll still sell it out. Everybody wants to see superstars. Everybody. And LA's the perfect place for superstars. There's so many people. There's so many things going on in LA any given night. And LA's also battling not just the rest of the Major League Baseball, but they're battling their own backyard just for all the entertainment that's going on in LA. you just look around LA, Dodgers, different stadiums. You see LA Dodger fans just converging like it's almost like a Trump rally or something. Just tons and tons of people. And more keep coming. Because why? Because people either love a winner or hate a winner, right? We love them, we build them up, and then we try and tear them down. Happens all the time in sports and in life. Everybody gets built up to get torn down. So, dynasties, UCLA basketball back in the 60s and 70s, it was John Wooden and the UCLA Bruins winning every year. Then it was the women's college. It was UConn and Gino Arianema, whatever, however you say his last name, with the UConn women winning all these titles. Prior to that, it was Tennessee and Pat Summitt. And then UConn comes along, and now what happens? See, this is why I think competition breeds success. What's happened with UConn? They haven't won a title for quite a while, the women. All these other women's teams got better. Because why? Well, they went out and got the players, and they're paying them, now with the rights for college, your naming rights. So things get better. Money is what gets tossed around to make teams better. So teams like the Dodgers, they're not going to just sit back. They're definitely not going to let San Diego go get Juan Soto. If Juan Soto goes back to, smash the likes, guys. Thanks, Kitchen Handy. Smash those likes. By the way, this show is brought to you by Chapman Law Group, sponsored by Chapman Law Group in Marin, servicing all of the Bay Area. Great attorneys over there. Give Chapman Law Group a call at 415-613-9483. Any legal matters, any legal needs you have, give Chapman Law Group a call. They will appreciate it. Tell them NorCal Sports Network sent you. All right. So before I get to a couple of other things, let me get to Chardal's chat here. Chardal says, Dan, member for 3 months. Thank you, Chardal, as a member. Dan, I wanted to wish you a happy Halloween, and this is one of his favorite holidays where I get to give candy to the little kids passing by my door. That's awesome, Chardal. Thanks. It's not a big holiday for me. I'm not really into Halloween. I do think the kids are really cute, when they're dressed up. And I made the mistake tonight. I have my little girls. They're adults now, but I remember my little daughter wearing the yellow princess dress from Disney, Belle, and a girl came to the door tonight, and I said, "Oh, Cinderella." I forgot Cinderella's in the light blue dress, and the little girl said, "I'm not Cinderella, I'm Belle." And her mother said, "Be nice." She got a little bit snappy. I thought it was funny. I says, I'm too old. I'm forgetting who the princesses were. But, I bought one of those Costco chocolate things that's Hershey's, Snickers, Milky Way, Three Musketeers, Reese's, $1,000 bar, Twix, whatever they were, just chocolate. And I love to eat it, but I can't eat too much of it because, dairy. I just don't do well with chocolate. So I was hoping the kids would take it, and I give them the bucket, and they just so polite. They just grabbed one. But anyway, Sasaki, the pitcher from Japan, might be the only one the Dodgers get. We'll see. They need pitching. I don't think they can do both, probably Sasaki and Soto. Sasaki sounds more like probably going to the Dodgers. I just think, in listening to Juan Soto today, they asked him the questions, who, he said, I'll listen to any 30 teams. And they basically, if you listen to Soto, he's probably been coached up by Scott Boras. Don't say anything that sounds like you might come back to New York. Make it sound like you're going to leave or you're open to leaving, and that there's no inside track that the Yankees have. And Soto's smart. He's a businessman. And, interestingly, listening to Aaron Judge today talk about Soto, he talked about Soto as not only a great, great player, but a great guy in the clubhouse, a great leader, a guy that puts in a ton of work, a guy that stays after a game, will work on his craft, work on his hitting, was there early, constantly professional. And so Juan Soto is he's a tiger. He's a tiger out there. You see him, great batting eye. He is a consummate professional. So whoever gets him is getting a guy who's very serious about winning, hates to lose. Kitchen says Tommy John Ohtani will have another Tommy John in 2 years, called his last one. I think the Dodgers are making a mistake in making Ohtani a starter. I really do. I think he should just be a closer, and they probably shouldn't pitch him more than 40 games, 40 innings. The Dodgers are good enough to win the division. And if you got him just closing, maybe, and how many games are the Dodgers going to need him back to back, where they're in a closed situation back to back? Maybe you just make him the closer and he pitches every other game in a closing situation. And, yeah, they have to forfeit their DH. I get it. That's a tough one. But when you have him as a starter, you wear him down where he has to, prepare so much mentally for the start that I think his offensive production goes down. I think his production was so great this year, the 54, 59, because he didn't have to focus on anything else. I'll try and get to as much as your chat as possible. It's hard to run the chat and the board and read everything and still focus in on the content. I keep forgetting to take the other ones down. I leave them up. So Devin House says the only problem with that, Dan, is he's a top 5 arm in the league as well. If he was top 100, then I agree, but he's good for 8 Ks a night. Yeah, just don't overwork him. Maybe just pitch him 5, 6 innings. Have him go 6 and take him out. Maybe limit his pitch count to like 85 pitches a night. He reaches 85, take him out. Because 85 innings, that should be able to get you at least 5 innings. So I don't know. We'll see. The guy's a freak athlete. Devin says, Mark Graves, I'm okay with it. What is he okay with? Devin says, take 6 to 7 aces with all Tommy John problems. Yeah. Yeah, Bub, you got that right. You really got that right. Watching the playoffs highlights shows you how irrelevant the Giants are. They really are. And we'll see what they do. How about Mad Dog Russo today, guys? Did you see Mad Dog? See if I can find his comment. Russo. Let me see. I'm typing it in. Somebody sent it to me. I'm seeing if I. Okay. Here we go. Let's give you some reality, guys. Here's a little reality from Chris Mad Dog Russo, who's a big Giants fan, guys. He loves the Giants. But this is from San Francisco Gate. For what it's worth, Russo does not believe Soto will end up in the National League West. His bet is the Herald 26-year-old will stay in New York, either remaining with the Yankees or departing for Queens and the Mets. That's how I think it is. Yankees or Mets. But I got Dodgers up there as third. But he continued to hammer the idea that the Giants will just look foolish if they go after players of his caliber. Listen to that. Oops. Excuse me there. Let me pull that back. The Giants right now are not a desirable location for the big free agent, Russo said. First off, they're in the shadow of the team in the South. Secondly, they haven't been good for a long period of time. Thirdly, obviously, the ballpark from an offensive standpoint can be a hinder. So from that standpoint, don't screw around. Realize, I know they want a big star. I get it. But they haven't been able to get one. And then you try to get one and you lose out, and it looks like we're a second-class citizen. So I wouldn't do that. I would try to build around the edges. Okay. To Russo, that means slowly building around the pitching staff, such as Logan Webb and free agent to be Blake Snell, the latter of whom Russo didn't exactly sound thrilled about the Giants re-signing, and letting the farm system grow. MLB.com had San Francisco's farm ranked 23rd this past season. Russo expects the whole process, the final step of which is to get good, will take a year or two to get that kicked up again. Okay, there you have it. Chris Russo, I think, is really right. I think they need to build this up. We got a poll out now. There's a poll out. Let's see what the poll is. You're gonna have to look it up. I gotta see what the poll is, guys. Let me go on to the show on my phone. Pull it up here for a second. See if I can find what the poll is. You guys probably know it before I do. I can't see it. Where will Soto sign? Okay. Yankees, Mets, Dodgers, Padres. There's 4 choices. Yankees, Mets, Dodgers, Padres. That's the poll. Yeah. It's going to be a good team, guys. He's not going to sign with a building team. He's just not. Juan Soto wants to win. And you heard Ned Coletti say it. He's gonna sign with a good team. And that's what, the Giants need to make some savvy, tough trades to make this team more relevant. They need to build it. Again, it's going to take a while to build this. I don't think they're going to be competitive. Personally, I've got them not being competitive. The 25, 26, 27. I think around the 28, maybe 29 season before they actually get good. I don't really see anybody coming up in their farm system other than Bryce Eldridge? And how long will it take Bryce Eldridge to, get well, be ready? I don't think Bryce Eldridge starts the season as a Giant. I think he starts it in Sacramento. And I think he's in Sacramento for a few months. 3 of the 4 teams finishing the top with the 3 big spenders. Yep, the Yankees, Mets, and Dodgers, all 3 of the last 4 teams. And Cleveland, I don't know where they were, but Jesus M says he agrees with Mad Dog. JB says Russo is correct. Giants will have to overpay and make a historic deal or don't bother pursuit whatsoever. Save time and focus on the signings that matter. I totally agree, JB82. I think the Giants, when all this negotiation's going on, go out and start getting some of the under-the-radar guys, the next level below Soto. Go get those guys and go get the pitching. Go get the pitching and get it quickly. Don't, what I don't understand is the dragging on. Go get your guy. The Dodgers knew exactly what they wanted, and they went and did it early. They didn't drag into, Farhan waited and waited and waited until the price came down, and he waits and waits and waits. We'll see if this guy's cut from the same cloth, Zach Manassian, or, he is a Farhan hire. So we'll see. I'm not expecting great things from the Giants, to be honest. Kitchen Handy says Greg Johnson needs to invest his money and spend $1.5 billion this offseason. And he says, laughing like that will ever happen. Look, did you guys, we've seen Steve Cohen, we've seen John Middleton, Phillies sitting down with the fans. We've seen Steve Ballmer with the LA Clippers in the middle of the crowd, behind the wall, getting in it with the crowd. We see Joe Lacob at courtside every game. We see, the Dodgers owner, Mark Walter. They show him in the stands. You never see the Giants ownership. You don't see Greg Johnson anywhere. The guy gets his reports from what's happening in the media. And he waits to see if the media is upset enough before he makes a move. Jeff Taylor, another member for 3 months. Thank you, Jeff. Says at least it seems Buster isn't going to make decisions just to placate the fan base and instead will go after what he feels is the right move. Yeah. And Kitchen Handy, another one. Vivek, owner of the Sacramento Kings. He's at every game. Look, the Giants have absentee owners. They're not in it for baseball, guys. I hate to disappoint you. I really do. Exactly the point I said earlier, Johnny, that Soto turned 440 down with the Nationals a few years ago. That's why he got traded to San Diego, because the Nationals realized, look, he's not going to sign here, so why don't we get his maximum? See, this is what smart organizations do. The dumb organizations hold on to the guy until halfway through the season, where the trade deadline, and they try and trade a guy because he's going to be a free agent, or they keep him and you get nothing in return and the guy walks, like Blake Snell, like Carlos Rodon, Farhan did. The Mets, they got far. They got to the NLCS, but they kept Pete Alonso. We'll see if they can retain him. It's going to be a matter of who comes up with the money. Maybe 700 becomes too much, but I can almost guarantee you he's getting 6. Because 440 a few years ago his not the same 440. If you factor in inflation, all of that, he's going to get 600. Wouldn't surprise me if he gets, 12, 650, 50 million a year, or if he does defer and he gets a little over 700. I know Boris wants that biggest contract. That irritates a guy like Scott Boris not being the top contract for his client. So, YouTube user on Manazian says, I don't know if it's pronounced Manazian or Manazian. Manazian. Does anybody know? I guess I can look up Perry Manazian and see how they Manazian. Let me just curious if they hold on. Let me see if they have a little, how you hit the little sound bar and if it tells you. Let me see how it's pronounced here. I don't know. It's not telling me. It's not spelling it out phonetically either. Yeah. I don't know. I hope this guy's nothing like his brother. His brother hasn't done much for the Angels. That's a sad organization. Let me see here. Pull up the comments here. Soto doesn't deserve two-way player money, Ben Bamboo says, yeah. But he's the only proven superstar free agent at age 26. Aaron Judge got $40 million a year for 9 years. He got $360, but he wasn't Judge over 30 at the time he was a free agent. Aaron Judge, this is his second year since signing with the Yankees, 23 and 24. Right now he's age 32. So yeah, he was 30 years old when he went into the free agent season. Juan Soto is 4 years younger than Aaron Judge, and he's a better hitter in the sense that he's gets on base a lot, doesn't strike out as much as Judge, doesn't hit the long ball as much as Judge. But I got to believe Juan Soto loves playing in Yankee Stadium too. That is a short porch to right field. If you notice, Juan Soto had the most home runs of any year in his career this year. Juan Soto hit 41 home runs this year. Prior to that, the most he had ever hit was 35 the year before in San Diego. So take a look at Juan Soto's stats, and we'll just kind of compare the two. Okay, so there's Juan Soto. Age 19, the man hit 22 homers. At age 20, he hit 34 homers and drove in 110 runs, led the Nationals to a world championship at age 20. Lifetime 285 hitter. So let me just pull something up here. I want to take a look here at something and show you guys. Let's compare some things here. Interesting. Very interesting stats here. All right, hold on a second. Let me see if I can pull this up. All right, there we go. You've got on the left, I think you can probably figure out who's who. Pretty similar, though, guys. Batting average, home runs, or you guys can figure out this is Aaron Judge on the left, Juan Soto on the right. The games, there's only separating them like 57 games. So, that's a third of a season, roughly. So there's not a lot separating them. So I think where Judge got the $40 million a year, 9 years, Judge is showing up to be the more productive hitter statistically. But Soto, a little bit better on base percentage, but not a ton. So if you took 4 years, so I can tell you this, Aaron Judge got 9 years. He's finished 2 years. He's got 7 years left. It's going to take him to age 39. So Soto is getting a 13-year deal. Okay. So Soto gets the 13-year deal. And if you factor in a little bit of inflation, he might end up with a 43. Maybe he only gets 43 to 45 million a year. Maybe he doesn't get the full 50 million a year. But I think that might be the starting. If you go 50 years or 50 million times 13 years, that's your 650. Maybe that's where it's going to be. Maybe he has to settle for 43 million a year, or say 45 times 13, which makes it 585. Maybe he's in that 520 to 585 range. Maybe he doesn't get the 700. But something tells me that Boris is going to try to end up with just over 700, even if it's 701. Yeah, I think Soto though, Ray or Bubrad, is in the I think he ends up in the 40 million range. Just because of Judge got that. That's not a bad way to go, too. 300 million for 6 years. Take the 300 and then get the big contract when money's even greater. You never know. There could become a salary cap, too. It's going to be wild. It's going to be, I don't see the Giants being in the ballpark, though. I really don't. I don't see the Giants being players in this. If they're players, if the Giants are players, they're players to get played. That's how I see it. They're going to get played. That's right, Aaron. He's actually 42. That is another thing to worry about. Juan Soto, and I've talked about it. I've said it. It's possible that he's 3-4 years older. We know it was with guys like Pujols and a few others that came from the Dominican, doctored birth certificates. No, I don't think it does. I think Soto or Judge would love to have Soto back. And he said he's a professional. He's made the team so much better. And Soto knows, or I say Jodo. Hey, there's a new name. Jodo. How's that? For Soto and Judge, Jodo. We'll make it sound like Frodo. Okay. So Judge he would love to have Juan Soto back. Absolutely would love. He said it was unbelievable having Judge in scoring position all these times he came up this year. He's never had a player like Soto. So, and Soto, you're going to pay a premium for his age. You just are. You're paying a premium for him being 26. And that's the factor that pushes the years up. It's either going to be Soto's either going to sign for some crazy amount, like $60 million a year for 5 years, or he's going to take in the low 40s for 13 years. Yeah. He's not going to take no, I don't see him doing 30. Look, he turned down 440, right? He turned 440 down. Well, Manasseh, will he be good? We don't know yet. I will have Dieter Kurtenbach on tomorrow night, guys, 9:00. He's going to know a lot more about him and have some different perspectives. So we will look at that tomorrow night. We'll really dive deeper into Zach Manassian. Not sure how you say it. We'll find out. Rob C. Hey, good to see you, Rob. How old will Soto be after 13-year contract? He'd be 39. His 13th year, he would be 39. He'll be 26. He just turned 26 6 days ago, on the 25th of October. So you get him for the whole season next year, starting at 26. I think there is a presser tomorrow. I'm not sure, but I think there will be. What else we got in here? Hey, anybody who wants to come in and join the show. Yeah, I do think, in talking to Dieter in the past, I'm trying to recall what he said. I think he said if it's any kind of a move that is from within, he is not for it. Hey guys, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. We went up 6 subs overnight. We're currently sitting at 2759, 41 away from 2800. So those of you on Twitter watching, or X, come on over, subscribe on YouTube. Would really appreciate that. Sitting at 2759 and counting. Let's see. I'm going to try and pull up that old comment if I can find it in here, guys. Let me see. Give me a sec to look on this screen and see if I can pull it up. NorCal Sports Network live. Wait a minute. That's not what I want. I want to pull history. No, that's not what I want. Huh. I'm trying to find my videos for the channel. Let's see if we can do that. Oh, here we go, I think. There we go. All right. Let me see if I can pull this old one up, and we'll here we go. Now give me a sec here while I pull this. All right.
A great executive. He could be.
Let's see if we can.
I can't totally speak to their qualifications. I'm not in like that. But
So this is
maybe whomever
about a
they
month
get,
ago.
Maybe Shelley's great. Maybe whomever they get is great. But you're right. They're going to have to probably hire a number 3 to do the job of a number 1. And if that doesn't worry you as a Giants fan, because Buster's in charge, I don't know what to tell you anymore. I mean, I don't know how you can have watched this team for 6 of the last 7 years and feel like they understand what's going on here. And all they've done is double down on more of the same. They just got they got the guy that everyone hated out, and they put in a guy that everyone loves. Well, the guy that everybody hated, who did need to go, by the way, probably should have gone in a different manner than this, but he did need to go. That guy also did a pretty decent job, at least at the major league level, of maintaining they never bottomed out, which, by the way, is the only mandate that he got from ownership. Don't bottom out. This team might bottom out even with that mandate, because at least Farhan could hold it together to win 80. At least he could keep it up with the fringe moves and working the margins. I mean, Buster Posey's clearly a lot different than you or I. But, again, this is no different than them just hiring Joe Mauer to do this role. Or going, hey, Stephen Voigt did a great job as a manager for the Guardians. Let's make him our director of baseball operations. It's the same stuff. And to me, it's just laughable, and it's complete malpractice. And frankly, I feel bad for Buster, though Buster did bring this upon himself because he asked for the ball. But I think a competent ownership group goes, we're not just giving you the ball. Why, without a plan? We better get something. We want to do this. We better do this right. And instead they said, that's a great idea. We'll figure it out later. $4 billion company run like a mom and pop shop.
I got a lot of people taking shots at. Let me see.
That's crazy to believe.
I'm going to move forward and see if I can find
Moose lives up to the name. It's like 80 pounds. He's the hoss.
The whole thing with the Buster thing, like you made a really good point I hadn't thought about, because my first thought was, hey, Buster, if the best offer for Soto is $550, I think the Giants need to pay $650.
Correct. And then maybe he'll do it and maybe he won't. I mean, that's all it is. You don't need Buster Posey in the room to make that happen. You need a fat wallet. Now, if I'll say this, as it was alluded to yesterday, there's a little bit more of a streamlined scenario. There's a couple of things here. One, Farhan would never overpay, or anybody of Farhan's ilk would never overpay someone $100 million because, we need to get this one player. Because again, we go back to the Ohtani never played a playoff game for the Angels argument. One guy isn't going to with Trout. One guy isn't going to fix this. So why are we overpaying someone by $100 million? How many we could get 90 players for that off the Farhan system. What are we talking about here? Like, this isn't funny money. Like, that really hamstrings you in a luxury tax world. Two, it doesn't. It's not an issue of, he's going to bring in the big time free agents now. The big time free agent, we got Willie Adames. Great. You overpaid Willie Adames, and now you have a problem on your hands down the line. There is a cap here. And especially with an ownership group that wants to somewhat break even, which they more or less doubled down on. This thing just feels rudderless, man. It just feels rudderless. And charisma and charm and legacy doesn't mean shit. Not when it actually has to get down to brass tacks and get some work done. And the work in front of Buster Posey is immense.
Yeah,
it is every direction, and it is piled higher than he can see. And credit to him for thinking he can take it on. There are going to be people around baseball, and he's finding this out right now, I'm certain of it, who say, I'm good.
Yeah,
I don't need that.
Yeah, why didn't the Yankees sign, make Derek Jeter or, Paul O'Neill in their front office, or the Dodgers make Fernando Valenzuela, or, when Clayton Kershaw retires, is he going to run the team? It's not going to happen.
No, the requirements of this job are, people don't have to like it, but it's the fact of the matter. You have to be of an Ivy League ilk. And, Buster's clearly a very sharp dude, but he went to Florida State, man. Like, I went to Missouri, so pretty much the same thing. But we're not talking about a dude with, an advanced degree in statistics or economics here. And again, people do not like to hear this, but it is the God's honest truth. Like, that is what is required these days. And
the game's changed. The game has changed. And I know there's a lot of talk of trying to go back to, I heard Bob Nightingale talk about this whole thing with Buster yesterday. I'm trying to find where we talked about who they might hire.
He found Paul DePodesta, who saved his ass.
Right.
And started all, hey, Ryan Vogelsong is now, our special.
Sorry, I'm just looking around for his interview on foul
Los Angeles and Arizona, where most of these guys live, but they're not really playing that game. When you're competing with the Yankees guy.
Yeah.
Love them to death. Can't get enough of them.
Great dogs. All right, guys, I will, I'll look for it a little bit and see if I can find it and then pull it up. I think we talked about Dieter talking about whether it would be someone from the outside or from the inside. Dieter did mention to me, maybe it was on the air or off the air, that he thought the Giants would go and stay on the inside. He didn't think they would go on the outside to hire somebody. And they did. They basically promoted from within. So I not super impressed. My first reaction simply was, I'll tell you this. What did Manassian do in his 6 years with the Giants? I mean, what star player came to the Giants from another organization? Well, maybe he helped in getting Gosman and Rodon. Maybe he was in on those. So, that's his gig, director of pro scouting. That means, I'm sure most of you guys already know what pro scouting is. It's not minor league scouting or international scouting. It is the major leagues. So he's scouting major league players. So you're getting a guy who's scouting major league players, and the Giants have no stars. They didn't make any trades for stars. So what is he going to do as general manager? Yeah, MF says he wanted AJ Pollock. If that's true, then wow. And maybe he signed Donovan Solano, helped get Donovan Solano. Maybe he's gotten the Wades and the Yazes and the Flores guys. I mean, come on, guys. Are these guys going to make a difference to compete? This is just your average ball players. Giants need to build this. They should just tear the whole thing down, in my opinion, and build the whole thing from the ground up and start bringing up the young guys and playing all the young guys and build that farm system, develop. You should be going after some of the best guys. I talked to Marty Lurie today. Marty would like it if they still brought in Billy Owens to take what Manazian's job was with the Giants. Bring in Billy Owens and let Billy Owens find a lot of players. Billy Owens might be able to help you find some of the younger guys and drafts. I mean, the A's have had some pretty good players develop in their organization. So, I don't know. I mean, my first reaction is if this guy was so good, why didn't the Giants get better players? Why did the Giants have a bunch of mid players? Why didn't they trade for any big time players that were out there? If why are we getting all the retreads of other teams, guys that weren't good enough to play on other teams? Why are we get? Is this what we're doing again? We're just getting guys that are, under the radar type guys. Is that what his specialty is? Him and Farhan? I mean, I don't see what his brother's done in California. I mean, I call them the California Angels. That's what I grew up on. The Anaheim Angels, the California Angels, the LA Angels, whatever. I don't know why they call them the LA Angels. They're not even close to LA. They're in Anaheim, a major city. So the Angels, what has his brother done over there? He didn't even trade Mike Trout or Shohei. Couldn't get. I know the problem's probably Artie Moreno, the owner, but Angels don't have anybody. They got Logan O'Hoppe, who looks like he's a pretty good player. But what, Larry likes the hire. I'll have to talk to Larry. I know he had some good stuff with the Brewers. Supposedly he helped, trade for Josh Hader, was in on the deal to get Zach Wheeler. And somebody else of significance was coming over to the Brewers from the Mets, but the deal fell through. His brother signed Anthony Rendon. Yeah. Let's hope he's his own man, but I'm not thrilled with it yet. I may be wrong. I've got to read up more on it. To be honest, I had a busy day and just didn't have time to read up a ton. I did read up an article on him from Baggerly. Let me see if I can find that. See if I can pull that article up for you guys. And okay, Bags. Okay. Here we go. Let's we'll take a look a little bit of this particular article on Twitter, okay? Posey scanned far and wide to hire a GM with a background in scouting and player evaluation. He sought an innovative thinker who also saw the game through a traditional lens, someone who would be in alignment with the Giants' organizational culture, yet also firm in their own convictions. And after a month-long process, Posey found the ideal candidate in his own backyard, Zach Manassian, who served as Giants pro scouting director since 2019, will be promoted. Okay. We're just going to. Manassian, 41, literally grew up in a major league clubhouse. His dad was named Zach, also managed the Rangers clubhouse. Managing a clubhouse and being general manager of making trades, two different things. His brother, and his other brother's a clubhouse manager. Okay, so it's a baseball family. They're clubhouse managers and general managers. Okay. Extensive experiencing, manage a pro scouting department. He largely through trade acquisitions of CC Sabathia and Zach Greinke and Josh Hader with the Brewers. But did he make those trades? I mean, is he the one? Let's see. We don't know how that works. Do the underlings are the ones doing the work and the GMs get the credit? I don't know how that works. Yeah, he was. Wilmer Flores and Zach Wheeler were going to the Brewers for Carlos Gomez, and the Mets didn't like something on the physical, and it got Manassian slammed his plate so hard on the table at dinner that he broke into pieces. He was upset. The next day, the Brewers pivoted and sent Gomez to Houston for a trade return that included Hader. He was replaced as scouting director in Milwaukee after Melvin stepped down, and David Stearns, who's now with the Mets, brought a more data-driven approach, took over as the Brewers' head of baseball ops. So him and Jeremy Shelley worked good together. The hiring of Manassian is the cleanest possible move for Posey, who sketched out a role for himself. Okay, the GM search was far from open and shut process. Posey spoke to approximately a dozen candidates. So we know Billy Owens was in there. Kim Ning, they didn't get the job. Kept coming back to Manassian, who had the right personality in addition to the front office skills and baseball sensibility. They were always asking and prying questions in the early Bill James days. Bobby Valentine told us today in the story about the Manassian family. And let's see. Just trying to go through here and scan it. And he's Tommy Lasorda's godson. Okay. I don't know. To me, right now, I would like to see the Giants go outside the organization and get an outside approach that has had success. There's no success so far in this Giants organization the last 6 years. This guy's a Farhan hire. So you're basically saying Farhan was no good. And we got to get rid of Farhan. So let's bring in the guy that Farhan liked. How does that make sense? Make that make sense, please. You got rid of Farhan. And this guy supposedly is the guy that helped Farhan find players. And you had crappy players. But we think he'll be able to do better finding better crappy players since he's in charge. That just isn't. I don't know. It's we'll see. We'll see. I'm not I'm not sold on this. Give it some time. Listen to some of the other guys that know him, know more about the ins and outs of the front offices, and we'll get a good word from Dieter Kurtenbach tomorrow night, 9:00, guys. So make sure you tune back in 9:00 Friday night with Dieter and I. Yeah, Rob C is going to go trout fishing with his brother. I could see that. I could see that. The Giants think they need a star, and they're going to get Mike Trout, and that would be a huge mistake. Trout can't stay healthy. Ron Concoma says, very obvious that Soto is going to the Mets. I'd make them the overwhelming favorite. It's going to be, yeah, I could see the Mets being very, very, I don't think Steve Cohn's going to want to, I think Steve Cohn, if he wants him, he'll get him. He's not going to lose to Hal Steinbrenner. The only thing is, does Soto, if it's going to have to be a little bit more money than, or I would think it'd have to still be a pretty good, much better contract than what the Yankees are offering. Hard to leave that short porch in right field. Soto could, how many home runs does Juan Soto have in his career right now? Anybody know? Close to 200, I'm guessing. Let's see. Juan Soto, he's been in the league for what, 6-7 years? He's probably got at least 200, right? 201. Wow. How's that for nailing it? Bingo. 201. All right. So Soto plays 12 years. 12 years and averages, let me see. Yeah. Soto has to average in 12 years about 33 homers to get to 600. Okay? You think he wants to leave? He could do that easily at Yankee Stadium. How many guys have hit 600 homers in the big leagues? 5 or 6? We know Bonds leads it, and then Aaron, you got Jim Thome up there, Pujols. Okay. You got Bonds, and then Aaron, then Ruth, and then Pujols, who's got 700. Alex Rodriguez is 5th at 696. Pujols got 703, by the way. Mays is 660 at 6th. Ken Griffey Jr., 637, 630, and he's in 7th. Jim Thome, 612. He's 8th. Sammy Sosa, 609. And that's it. 9 guys. Next guy, 10th. Frank Robinson, 586. Mark McGwire, 583. Harmon Killebrew, 573. Juan Soto is going to want to pass, I believe, Ken Griffey at 630. He's 7th all time. I don't know if he can get to Willie Mays, but if Soto plays 12 years and hits 36 homers a year, that gives him another 432 plus his 201, brings him to 633, just passing Ken Griffey Jr. Where's the best place Soto can hit home runs. It's Yankee Stadium. Or Philadelphia is pretty good park too. But there's no porch like that in right field like New York, Yankee Stadium. So TN thinks 15-year, 575. It's going to be in that range. I think Soto's going to test, or Boris is going to test the market and see if he can get the 700 million. And if he's not getting there, if he's not getting anywhere close to the 700, if the top's getting into the high fives or sixes, he'll have to bring his approach down. So he'll have to bring that. But I think that's going to be the launching number that Boris is going to float out there that he wants. He's going to start telling teams, we're looking to beat Ohtani's 700 million. Whether you want to stretch that out over 12, 14, or 15 years, that's the number we're looking for. And we're going to sign with the first one that comes up with that number. See if anybody bites. If nobody bites, then he has to lower it. But that's what you do. When you start negotiating, you start high with the intention of getting what you want. You think Matt Chapman? You think Boris? He held out with Buster for Mark Gray, 70 years for 700 million. 1 million a year. Or I guess that would be, what would that be? 70 years? No, that would be 10 million a year. Is that right? 70 times 10. Yeah, 70 times 10. Yeah. But I don't think Boris was looking for a 6-year deal for Matt Chapman. I really don't. I think Boris would have taken 5, maybe 4. I don't think on the open market, if Chapman went on the open market, he's going to be, how old's Chapman going to be? 31 next year? Can't remember. Let me look up Matt Chapman. Matt Chapman is 31 right now. Turns 32 in April, the end of April next year. So he's 32. I don't see many teams that would want to give a guy that strikes out as much as he does and doesn't drive in runs more than 4 years if he went free agency. I think the Giants gave him 2 years. We'll see what the Giants do. We'll see if, we'll see if Matt Chapman, we're going to go out and we're going to get some free agents. People are already talking to him, and all these guys are going to sign with the Giants this offseason. We'll see. We'll see what they bring in, what Matt Chapman brings in the trades. Hey, Philip. Late for the party, but what's up, everyone? Yeah, we've been talking about Soto. We've been talking about Manassian. We're going to have Dieter Kurtenbach on tomorrow night at 9:00 to discuss the new GM of the Giants, and we'll see. I think the Giants are in for a long couple of years, guys. Dodgers, Giants. Okay. Dodgers, Giants. 2014. 2016. 17. 18. 19. 20. 21. 22, 23, 24, 25. That's the direction it's going. Giants, Dodgers, further and further apart. And you watch the Dodgers. If they don't go out and actually land Soto, they're going to get this kid from Japan, Sasaki. They're going to re-sign Teoscar Hernandez and watch him go get Willie Adames to play shortstop. That's crazy. Forgot where I read it, but it said Snell is unlikely and they will concentrate on hitting. Why? You need pitching. You need pitching. If I'm the Giants, the quickest way to close the gap is to get people who actually would love to pitch at Oracle Park. Okay? You don't think Corbin Burns would love to pitch? He's from Bakersfield, went to St. Mary's College. You don't think Burnsy would like to pitch? I think Max Fried might be a Dodger. But you go get Corbin Burns, go sign Blake Snell and maybe a Nathan Eovaldi, something like that, and you get 3 pitchers. Then you trade a guy like Webb, who's got a very tradable contract. And then you have Robbie Ray, Corbin Burns, Blake Snell, Birdsong, or go trade Harrison. But Webb will bring you a good haul back. I mean, or you could keep Webb, go sign Burns and an Eovaldi or a Walker Buehler and a Snell and keep Webb and have the best rotation in baseball. Have 5 top starters and have Birdsong in the wings. I mean, if you had a pitching staff, a starting pitching staff of Snell, Burns, Webb, and Ray, that's 4, and an Eovaldi 5, and a Birdsong in the background when injuries, you go 6. Man, you can actually compete. You get into a short series, no one's going to want to play you. That's the type of team that you go with, and you actually say, okay, we may not win the division, beat the Dodgers out, but we can beat them in a short series. Yeah, Trevor Bauer, why not, Philip? Trevor Bauer's still got it. Go out and get a bunch of pitching. Build a pitching staff, and then play your Matos and Ramos and Lee in the outfield. And go find yourself a first baseman. Play Luciano. Play him at first base. Teach him first base. Look, you're teaching Bryce Eldridge. Will Clark was here in Arizona this past month. In October. This month. Last day of October here, but this month, working with Bryce Eldridge. He was a right fielder, and they try to make him into a first baseman. They're working with ground balls, trying to really work on having him, deal left-handers who hit hard shots to him at first base. He's a tall guy. They're trying to work with him in getting in position. That's what, why not get Luciano the same training? He's a shortstop by trade. Not a great one, but he should be able to field grounders. Get Luciano playing. You know what? If Eldridge is ready to play and Luciano's killing it, now you got a good problem on your hands. If he's not, Luciano's not doing it, then you figure something else out for Luciano. But there's a lot that can be done. But we'll see. Guys, make sure you hit the Oh, Bill. All right, Bill. I agree. Build up a super strong pitching staff for the next 3 to 5 years and then build the offense. In for now, have your best defenders on the field. And for now, yeah, absolutely. You got Chapman for a reason. Okay, don't waste him. Go get a solid shortstop. Play. Maybe you move Fitzgerald to second. Somebody at first. Your outfield. Matos. The guy doesn't strike out much, so he puts the bat on the ball. You see what happens when people put the bat on the ball. Good things happen. Put Matos in the 5th spot. He likes to hit with men on base. He comes through. Don't put him in the leadoff spot. So let's build the pitching staff up. Look, you're going to spend money. Go spend it. You spent $18 million on Conforto. You spent $13 million on Soler. You spent, what else did they do? $18 million roughly on Jung-Hoo Lee. Put the money into the pitching staff. Okay? Get Matos in the lineup. Lee's the only guy that doesn't strike out a ton. You need another guy, Lee, and you need some other guys. Hopefully you find a hitting coach that changes their approach and looks to put the bat on the ball with 2 strikes. So they've got to change their focus. Yeah, Posey's a catcher. He's got to know this about pitching. Look, the Giants didn't have the superstars when they won 3 World Series. They won it with pitching, defense. Had a great bullpen, great starting staff. They had good defense, and they had, a couple of guys that can make timely hits. They had Pence, Pablo. Of course, they had Buster and Crawford and Belt. But they weren't knocking the door down offensively, guys. Go get pitching. They've got to find a way to get pitching. Guys, hit that like button if you would out there. Like and subscribe. Would really appreciate it. Help our numbers growing. We're growing like crazy. We're over 400 subs the month of we just added 2 more subs. We just added a couple more subs while we were talking. $27.61. We're going to top 2,800 by tomorrow night, guys. We're going to do that. 2,800. We'll get this thing rocking and rolling. So hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button. It really helps with the algorithms. Really appreciate that. Once again, at the bottom, scrolling, our show is brought to you by Chapman Law Group, 415-613-9483. Please give them a call for any needs that you have with legal matters. And let them know NorCal Sports Network sent you. Let's see. Dan, is there any other way I can subscribe other than using Google Play? Mine is still effed up. Okay. I don't know. I think it's through Google. I think if you go to YouTube, I don't know how that works, Google Pay. Maybe somebody else. Yeah, Lou's in Vegas. He was entertaining some clients tonight with dinner and stuff. Venmo Dan, we will remember you're a member. Okay, Venmo Dan, we will remember you're a member. LOL. Oh, okay. He's talking about member. Okay, being a member. Okay, Bill. Yeah. Don't worry about being a member, Bill. It's cool. Oh, Philip, I can Venmo you. Is this for the membership? Yeah, you could do that if you want to be a member. We'll know you're a member. My Venmo is what is my Venmo? Hold on. Pulling it up. Looks like that. Just Dan Coach Emilio. My name, you could see it right there. You can look it up on the and then I'm in a Giants uniform. I got not uniform, jersey. I'm in a Giants jersey, and I'm in the background is the Bay Bridge. I'm there with my wife. She's also in a Giants sweatshirt with a Giants hat. So that's me. If you want to make sure you know it's the same Dan Coach Emilio. Got my Giants jersey. This one right here. Joe Panic. Joe Panic. Doesn't say Panic. It's a front shot. But that's fine to do it that way. Oh, yeah, the fundraiser too. Yeah, Philip, that's right. And we're going to be doing some more raffles going forward as we get closer to the season. We'll be doing some ticket raffles the upcoming season. Anyway, what do we got going here in the chat? Okay. We got a little disagreement going. Okay. All right, guys. Just let's try to work it out. We're not going to censor anybody, though. We're not going to censor anybody. We believe in free speech, First Amendment. Yeah, Marco Scudero was a guy, timely hitter. Exactly. Put the bat on the ball. Put the bat on the ball. That's you know what, guys, what we ought to do sometime? I ought to go through the Giants 2010, 12, and 14 lineups. It'll take me some time. Maybe I can get somebody else to help me work on it. Go on to Baseball Reference and look at those years. Look at the lineups for the Giants. And let's see what their K rate was for each player. I'll bet you there were several players that were under 20%. I'll bet half the lineup was under 20%. And they probably had 3 or 4 guys that were over 20% in the lineup. Today, with Jung-Hoo Lee out of the lineup, all 9 guys were striking out over 20%. Yeah, Panic was another great guy, Bill. Exactly. Joe Panic. Absolutely. All right, guys. I think we're about going to wrap this up. The wrap up. So that you have other choices for Giants talk and baseball talk. Everybody's out there grinding and working and trying to create content. And I appreciate you guys being here, supporting the channel, supporting me, the gang. And we try to bring you the best content we can, with a lot of background baseball knowledge, football, basketball. We cover it all. Golden State Warriors. We're going to cover every Golden State Warriors post game this year. So make sure you tune in for that if you're a basketball fan. We're going to get some guests on for that. We'll have many guests. Baseball's probably our biggest wheelhouse with all the contacts that we have. We got some football contacts too. You know, we've had Ron Rivera on. One of these days we'll get Jared Goff on. I don't know if the Lions have a bye coming up soon. Maybe I can figure a way to get Goff on during a bye week. I don't like to bother guys during the regular season when they have a game each week. So Alonso will leave the Mets, says Swag. Okay. We'll see. Maybe so. Depends. Really depends. But guys, I think quickest show ever for you. Yeah, you came in late, Philip. Appreciate y'all being here. We're gonna end this, but we'll be back tomorrow night, guys. Do not forget to show up tomorrow night. It's gonna be good. You're gonna wanna really hear an honest assessment from Dieter Kurtenbach, who writes for the San Jose Mercury, who's a on-air personality for KNBR. I love about Dieter is he doesn't hold back. He speaks his mind. He'd fit great in the New York media. He can handle it. The Bay Area's media, a little too soft for Dieter. They get, when Dieter talks, people get upset, but it's refreshing because it's real. Whether you agree with his takes or not, it's a different story. You may or may not agree, but at least he keeps it real. Thanks, YouTube user. Says he'll be here tomorrow. NorCal Sports Network leading the way with interesting guests. Yeah, we've had a heck of a guest list. And we're going to bring a lot of those guests back. You know, they've all said they'll come back at some time or another. And we'll have the great Marty Lurie on. Marty Lurie and I will be doing some co-shows together in the coming weeks. Marty's been busy. And so, hey, Philip, thank you. Really appreciate you guys being here. We know that, again, there's lots to choose from out there, and we like to think we cover, you know, we all sharing the same things, a lot of us, but we like to think our takes have some pretty strong merit to them, as others do. Everybody's got, you know, takes, and everybody's got, you know, we're all, you know, Giants. I listen to many of the shows. I listen to probably 5 or 6 different ones, pick up pieces from all of them and hear what they say. But, you know, join us. We'll be here all year long, whether it's baseball, Giants, Warriors basketball, 49ers football. We got you covered. And we'll even get you some Kings stuff now and then. And also get some San Jose Sharks for some of you. Hockey's not my greatest sport. I like the game. Fascinating game to watch. I understand the game, but I just don't follow it as religiously as some of the other sports. And you only have so much time in your day, you know. And this isn't I got a day job too. So anyway, guys, thanks again. Appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, with Dieter Kurtenbach. And the final chat of the night, Mark Graves says Sharks lose tonight 3-2. They'd won 2 in a row. They're going for their third. Couldn't get it done. Hopefully they're not like the Giants and only can get 4-game winning streaks all year long. All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow, 9 o'clock. Dieter Kurtenbach, as we discuss San Francisco Giants' new GM. Forgot his first name all of a sudden. Manazian, not Perry Manazian, his brother, Zach Manazian. All right. Take care, everybody. See you tomorrow.